Hello, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Bench. Today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my PhD journey and how I ended up where I am today. So my PhD journey probably started around 2 years ago during my integrated master's year. I did the MSci, Biological Sciences. That basically means that I did an extra year of my bachelor's and got to do a research year. So it runs for 9 months from September to April. I was researching antimicrobial peptides against multi-drug resistant fungal infections in the AMR One Health lab at Queen's. And this was a really good opportunity to kind of get an insight for what a PhD might kind of look like, or what day to day would, because was kind of my first experience of independent research time that I actually realized, oh, I actually think I would love to do this every day. I wasn't really sure if it would be for me because I found my master's quite stressful. I think I realized I might as well put an application in. I'm quite a person that believes in what's for you won't pass you by. So I was like, I'll put the application in. If it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What attracted you to the particular stewardship project? PhD, it was a little bit different to the way people might think of a typical PhD application, because rather than applying for a fully pre-designed project, I actually helped design the project myself. So the funding came through DERA, the Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs. So they fund a number of PhD students across Northern Ireland, and the projects can cover a range of different topics. So we can look at things from the environment or maybe more agriculture focused. It felt like a really good opportunity to design a project that I was actually really interested in. My project looks at antimicrobial use and antimicrobial resistance in companion animals, specifically dogs in Northern Ireland. It has a number of different aspects. So I look at more kind of behavioural side of things, looking at prescribing behaviours of dog owners and vets. And then I also have more of a lab-based side where I look at AMR in dogs and their owners and the co-occurrence of different bacteria and fungi between both dogs and their owners. How did you find designing your own project? It was kind of daunting, but on the other hand, I felt like it was a really good opportunity to kind of incorporate things of my own interest. It did feel kind of like a big responsibility to think carefully about what the project was trying to achieve and why it mattered and how we could realistically carry it out in a suitable time frame. But working with my supervisory team during this process was really important because they helped me shape the idea. What were you most nervous for when applying? Beginning of applying for PhD, I kind of felt like a wee bit overwhelmed, but it was also quite exciting because it's a new chapter. But I think for me, it was quite a big decision because it wasn't just a year-long course or something like that. Like, it was going to be several years on a certain topic. And I knew that it was something that was going to have to interest me, or else I probably wouldn't enjoy it. I was probably most nervous for the interview. I'm not a very good public speaker, but that's something that comes with practice. It actually ended up being something that I developed during my PhD. Presenting at conferences in particular allowed me to present my research to a wide variety of audiences and be more comfortable with different questions and answers about my topic. My advice would be you don't necessarily need to be confident in public speaking at the start. This is definitely something you can grow on and improve during the PhD process. One of the biggest things I learned from the process is you don't necessarily need to know everything before you start. I think for me, I was like really worried because I'd never done anything in behavioral economics before and kind of more desk-based. But I actually really love that multidisciplinary aspect of my PhD because I get to gain lots of different skills in lots of different areas and see what I actually really enjoy. Did you know you always wanted to do a PhD? I don't think that I knew for certain that I wanted to do a PhD. I think it's something that I gradually became more interested in. So I worked alongside my degree in different labs and I really enjoyed the time, and I think I gained some really good valuable experience from that. But I think when I'd started my master's year and I started to do some independent research, I realized, oh, this is like what I want to do. Like, see myself doing this long term. I think the PhD was the natural next step for that. Challenges. I think probably my biggest challenge so far has probably been having confidence in my work. Times I am very quick to compare myself to other people. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Everyone's looks very, very different. And also everyone has very, very different projects. So you should never compare yourself to someone else and their progress, because everyone's will move at different paces. Because I feel like it's very quick to see, oh, that person's got a paper out, or oh, that person's doing this. I'm not anywhere near that, but just because they have that doesn't mean that you're behind. You're not. To overcome this, I tried to focus on my own project. what skills I was building on, what smaller milestones I'd reached. I also reminded myself you probably only see people's highlights. You don't see their stress, rejection, things that go wrong. My advice for people applying to PhDs would be, if you're considering it all, definitely apply. You can always turn them down. It's better to apply than regret not applying. I think it's important to like chat to some supervisors about different topics before jumping in and applying. And just because the supervisor doesn't have funding available, there's definitely options like DIRA and things like that. So just because the supervisor hasn't advertised any projects doesn't mean that there isn't other options to explore.
Thank you for joining us today. Join Jordan next week as she continues to share about her PhD research on Behind the Bench series from the AMR and One Health Lab. See you soon.